Welcome everybody to the Single and Stiletto Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today we have on our show Matt Adams, and he's a dating specialist with GoOutWithMe.com, and I'm so excited to have him here today because today we are talking about what turns a man off on a first date, and who better to find it out from than a man himself. So Matt, welcome to our show.
Hi Suzanne, how you doing?
Good. So tell our audience how you became a dating specialist.
Well, I started off in a bad relationship and I decided to do something about it. So I took a dating class because I didn't know how to get into a relationship. I went through that. By the end of that, I was getting 5 to 10 dates a week. Started figuring out who I wanted to be with and changed careers, went into cosmetology schools. The other guys saw that I was getting results. They wanted me to help them, and so I helped them. Then when I was in cosmetology school, the women started asking me for help because I was talking about the work I was doing with guys, and I started getting all the other side of it, and I started helping women too. When I graduated hair school, I went into the salons and just kept talking about the work that I was doing on the side, and the women were so interested, and they just encouraged me to go out in the world and help people with that. And I'm glad I did because it's the most rewarding work I've done in my life.
It is. It really, I have to agree with you because I feel the exact same way. Well, great. So, Matt, tell our audience, what are the things that turn a man off on a first date?
Okay. So I think the biggest thing I hear from guys is talking about the relationship goal right off the bat. If I hear on the first date, oh, I want to get married and I want to have children, all of that, that's great. A lot of guys want that too. And I know because the guys that I've worked with tell me that that's what they want.
Right.
They just don't want to hear it on the first date. They want to get to know you. They want to see what kind of person you are so they can assess where you're going to be in, what role you're going to play in their life. Maybe it's the wife and person that they marry. Maybe it's not. But they need to assess you first. So you got to give them that time to get to know you and figure you out and who are you and all of that stuff. So I think the next thing that kind of plays into that is that it seems that the older women are, the more pressure they put on themselves to find their next or last relationship. I've had multiple guys tell me that women have told them that they are looking for the last chapter in their book.
Oh my God, when you just said that, that scared me.
I know, right? So that just makes them want to run. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to be someone's last chapter. They don't want to hear that. So
they actually say that on a first date?
Yeah, I've heard that from multiple men. It's not something uncommon, unfortunately. So, if you're finding yourself in your mid to later years, keep that in mind. That don't put the pressure on yourself. Let it go. Have fun. Go out, meet people, and come at it from that angle.
Oh my God. First of all, I have to stop at this point because you saw my shock. I have been doing this for a long time, and I had no idea that some women are saying that. So I have to pause and say this to my audience is, ladies, if you're saying that on the first date, you saw my reaction. That's exactly how a man feels, and probably worse. So do not say that on a first date. Ever.
Ever.
Okay, go ahead, Matt, with your tips.
All right. So the second thing I have is talking about anything negative. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about your bad day. They don't want to hear bad things about you. They don't want to hear about your ex or why you didn't like him or what he did that was wrong. They don't want to hear about why your last relationships didn't work or why your marriage failed. They don't want to hear that stuff. And in order for me to kind of tell you what you should be talking about, let me get through my next point, and then we can get into what you need to be talking about on your first date. So the next thing is not presenting your best self first. If you're putting yourself down, if you don't believe or don't have high enough value, you're going to have a hard time selling yourself. So you can't put yourself down, and you have to show people that you do believe in yourself. Now, there's two kinds of people for this scenario. There's someone with low value, and they need to kind of build up their value.
Right.
But then there's someone who's got very, very high value. And if you're that person, if you're like overqualified for the person that you're with, or at least you think that way, then you need to kind of knock yourself down a little bit and try to bring your own value down so that the person you're talking to or courting can actually find you attainable. You see the dichotomy there? If you're too low, that's like unattractive. If you're too high, you're unattainable. So you got to find that middle ground. You have to present yourself on an even keel with someone.
And what I want to ask you, because I know what my audience is thinking right now, is, well, I would never put myself down on a date. So, Matt, can you give us some examples of how men see a woman putting herself down that is a turnoff?
Sure. The first one is, oh, I didn't like this dress, or, I feel fat today, or, and the stuff comes out, people get nervous, they don't know what to say, it just happens. So, if you're that nervous person on a first date, stay away from that kind of thing.
Right. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's your next tip?
So the next tip is my fourth and final tip, and that is to flip all of these things around and stay in the positive. So let's explore some of the things that we've talked about already that I've mentioned. The first one was, talking about anything negative, having a bad day. All right, so maybe today you had a bad day, but if you're out on a date, you want to talk about having a good day. And you may want to talk about the good day that you had last week or 5 years ago. It doesn't matter. It's one of those little white lies you can get away with in dating. But you want to talk about that good day because you want to have that energy inside you radiate out, and that's what you want the other person to see. So talk about having a good day, even if your day wasn't. Talk about a past good day. Bad things about yourself, talk about the good things about yourself. If you're coming up with something in your mind, I feel fat today, or this dress doesn't look good on me, or whatever, my makeup's running. Oh, I'm sorry, my makeup's running. I've heard that one. Talk about the good things about yourself. Instead of saying, oh, my makeup's running, think about, I look great today, or, the woman just over there just said I look great today, blah, 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 whatever. Your ex, what you didn't like about him. Tell us what you did like about him, okay? Because that's still keeping it in the positive, Even if you're building someone up who's not in your life anymore, why it didn't work out isn't really important on the first date. It's important that you show that you valued that person in your life. So maybe there are some things that they did that you liked. Talk about those. Why your last relationship didn't work. Why your last relationship did work. Talk about those things. What you're doing here is communicating your values to the other person, and that's what's important. If you value why things didn't work, they're going to see that. If you value why things did work, they're going to see that.
That makes sense, but I'm going to ask you a question because I know a lot of my clients get asked this question on a date from the men themselves. Is why didn't your marriage work out, or why did your last relationship end? So what should a woman say if it was something bad? Because she shouldn't lie, but you're saying to keep it in the positive. So what should she say or do?
Yeah. So you have to put a positive spin on it. If it didn't work out and it was like terrible, you just say, we had some differences that we just couldn't reconcile. We just couldn't come together to work to make them happen. By saying it that way, you show that you're over it, that you're not still hung up on it.
Got it.
That
makes sense, because I've also heard that from both actually men and women, is that if someone keeps talking and talking about a past relationship or their marriage that ended, keeps going on and on, it's just like, oh my God, what is going on here? And it's not where you want the first date to go.
Right. I had a phone call just yesterday morning with a potential client, and has no idea why she's not finding the right guy and why her dates don't call her back. And it came out in our conversation that she's still kind of hung up on her ex-husband from 7 years ago. Things didn't end for her the way that she wanted them to, and her ex-husband is not even acknowledging her. They can't even be friends. She's still clinging. He wanted to leave, she didn't, and she's still clinging. That energy is still there around her.
Right.
And people feel it, they see it. When she can let go of that energy, she can move on, and those people the kind of men that she's looking to attract to herself will actually start coming to her.
Exactly. Well, these have been some great tips. So, Matt, tell our audience how they can find you.
Go to gooutwithme.com, and you can check out all the work that I'm doing there.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us on the Single and Stiletto Show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you would like to view the videos, you can go to singleandstilettos.com. If you would like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you would like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, you can click right here on the video, or you can go to singleandstilettos.com.